When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Anything said on Hillbilly Broadcast should be taken only as opinion. Also, the views and opinions expressed by guests of the program that we interview do not necessarily reflect the views of the hosts of Hillbilly Broadcasts or its advertisers.
Please remain calm. There is no need for alarm. This space is now being taken over by Hillbilly Broadcast.
I know there's been some stuff going on with CHN lately, but I've not taken the time to go through it. Because I know that, what was it, Dan Stedler? I think Dan did some type of sermon that got some attention, and I know Rodney F. Loper did a...
Rodney F. and Loper?
Cannot even.
He did some kind of a seminar at, this was in Shelbyville, I think, where he really got
With the young
deep.
People?
I think it was. He got really deep in the weeds about the holiness standards and all
awful.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, your eyes are darkening. You definitely are like, evil.
Said some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I need to go through that. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes the older I get, the more I'm just like,
you just like don't even want to spend your time with it.
yeah. Do I want to spend time, plucking out my own eyelids, or do I want to listen to an hour and a half sermon?
Sometimes I want to fight about something, and I'm just like, that'll make me mad. So yes, I will definitely look it up.
We got some things we got to get to. I've had people contact me about them, and we'll look into it. We'll get some clips, and we'll make fun of some people.
Okay.
For sure. But I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention. Ben, what about you?
I've paid superficial attention to them. I know Loper made a statement about, his girls can go skiing, but they'll have to do it in a dress. So, his condescending little joke. Well, they just chosen not to do it so they don't look ridiculous. These people and their idolization of their uniform and their look.
Tell me about it.
Okay. Please tell me what's immodest about a woman in a ski outfit, a snowsuit, whatever you want to call it. Please explain to me what's so immodest about that and why you need to put your denim freaking skirt over top of it.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all.
There's no explanation for it other than it's skin tight and you can see their body shape. That's the only thing.
But it's not skin tight. If it's a snowsuit.
It's a big
I'm talking about skin.
3-inch thick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those aren't skin tight.
It doesn't have a slimming effect, I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
the old joke was when I used to go skiing, well, you got to get them to the lodge so you can start to peel some layers off to see what they actually look like. Because you can't tell on the slope.
Wait, hold on. My brain is tired. I've been doing calculations too much. I'm talking about figure skating. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
I was just trying to picture a skirt doing that figure skating jump.
Tanya Harding.
Oh, my goodness. I'm tired.
I like how we just had a 20-minute conversation and weren't on the same page at all.
No, I was doing figure skating in my brain. I was like, that stuff's pretty awesome. If someone can figure that out in a skirt, you let me know.
Well, they do wear them little short skirts, don't they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very short skirts. They fly up when they land.
Well, I wouldn't know nothing about that.
What's wrong with that?
I love it. It's fine for me. Like, I don't mind it at all.
I appreciate the talent. I mean, I don't think I can stand up on ice skates.
It's purely for the talent. Yeah.
All for the talent. Nothing else.
Of course.
All for the talent.
Of course.
I mean, just like cheerleading. I mean, those girls are so skilled.
All right, so like
now we're really
female gymnastics, in the Olympics.
Yeah, look at Simone Biles. I mean, have you ever seen another human that has the ability to do the things she can do.
No.
Right. And I tell you
No.
what, beach
And that makes
volleyball,
me so-
women's beach volleyball, it's
Stop
just, you talk about a fine
it was
specimen
not that one.
of athlete.
No, Phil, it's the surfers. The surfers, when they go dive in the water and their butt cheeks go out in the air.
Listen,
Remember?
I don't,
We talked
We've
about
never
it.
noticed that. I don't know what you're
I
talking
never
about.
saw that.
Maybe I'm a lesbian then, I guess, but I just
I
noticed
think,
it.
I think you're just messed
Well,
up.
that clears some things up then, don't it?
See, me and Ben have that second work of grace, and
No.
that stuff doesn't even come into our
Amen,
mind.
brother Phil.
You, Phil, you were talking about Peach McGee over there, like because her butt cheeks were hanging out.
Who?
Yeah, we were watching like the Olympics in France.
I don't even remember the Olympics. I don't know
Yes,
what
I
you're
know. I know.
talking
You will.
about.
You will wear that to your death, and you actually do remember it though.
So, what's this been? Maybe 2 months ago? I got to go to my first NASCAR race.
Oh man.
And we haven't talked about this on the podcast
Oh
yet.
man. Yeah.
We haven't been doing a whole lot of podcasts lately. Mainly, and I will say, one of the main reasons has been kind of in a little bit of a planning phase here, trying to get the legal stuff, which I got,
And I started a
stacked
new
over
job
here.
that is
but also trying
stressful
to do more
as fudge.
like actual brainstorming, planning on this thing, not just make it the same episode every time
Yeah.
and all that. But so all that to say, we haven't done one for a while, and we haven't done one, I don't think, since we went to Bristol, or at least not
Right.
one where we could talk about Bristol. What a fantastic experience.
Yes.
A first NASCAR race ever. I had to see it at an iconic track like Bristol. You know, it's a half mile. It's freaking terrifying. Like when I walked into the track, because I got to stand right beside the track as they were qualifying for the
Yes.
Cup race. And when those cars come past me, like I'm not going to lie, when I first walked in there, it was a little bit like it almost spooked you a little bit. They were moving that fast.
The vibrations.
You didn't realize. All right, Talladega Nights, whatever. But was that the movie that's from?
Yeah.
You.
Is it Talladega Nights or whatever it was with Ricky Bobby?
You know, if a person could just get a good co-host, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. I can take my exit. It's fine.
But just seeing that, you know, the TV doesn't do it justice. The old cliche, it's
Oh,
true.
absolutely not.
Seeing Dale Jr. race
Like seeing a car fly by you that fast, that was also very freaky.
in that small of a track. It's a half
Yes.
mile. It's
And
a half
was
mile
probably,
circle.
200 feet maybe away from us? If maybe that's a little too much.
Oh, when we're watching them qualify, it's right there.
Yeah, because it was like right in front of us and they're just flying by and you have the wind like right in your face. It was wild.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yes.
And of course, like
Speechless
I said,
is the word.
seeing Dale Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Race again, which is
That
a
was
rare
what
thing.
you liked. That was your
It's-
favorite.
Absolutely. Well, I that was good. My favorite was Kyle Larson
Oh,
winning,
absolutely.
so that made it even more special. But
And you had them stupid hey dudes. Kyle Larson hey
I
dudes.
have Kyle Larson, hey dudes, and listen, the amount of women that just attack me on the sidewalk when I wear those.
No. They did not. They look like
The 0 women that attack you.
Yes, the negative amounts of women.
The women that see them and turn their back to you.
So that hey dude picture needs to be your profile like for this
It
episode.
should be. I got them on right now, actually.
Yeah, show him how awful they look.
What? Show Ben?
Yes.
I mean, these are pretty freaking.
They're
classic.
wild.
We got
They're awful.
freaking ouch.
That looks something like, I think the max age that you can reasonably wear them is 11 to 12. After that, nah.
So,
What
How
about
old are
mentality,
you?
Ben?
mentality.
We just talking physical age or mental age? Anyways.
I can't. No. It reminds me of Sonic is the Hedgehog or whatever he is. Who's that? He's blue and
Yeah, Sonic.
that literally looks like that's what your shoes remind me of. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, listen, when I wear these, I can really run fast. I do know that.
Fast as fluff boy.
Fast as fluff, boy.
Well,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
back to like a 3 to 4 year old kid.
See, I
know.
can't. They bother me
I'd like
so
to get
bad.
some- It has a
Rodney
little-
Carrington has a good bit about that. About everybody should be as excited as a 3 to 4 year old kid running around. Hey, these shoes make me so fast.
Yeah.
Your kid hasn't got to that stage yet.
I'd like to
He
get.
will.
I'd like to figure out how to
Not
put some
fast shoes.
little lights on the bottom of them too, so they light up whenever I'm walking around. That'd make them perfect.
You're definitely in your Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Ben, you went to a race back in the day, right? Which one did you go to?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Yep. Yeah.
Was it good?
Hey, that's oh yeah, it's an iconic track.
And this would have been what year?
Oh shoot, 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere between 2006 and 2009, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's good. That's when you still had all those heavy hitters were still in there.
Oh yeah, Gordon, Earnhardt Jr., Casey Kane. Casey Kane wrecked in the wall right in front of me. That was Biffle. I don't remember who won. I was a big Gordon fan. He had a track bar break or something, got 3 to 4 laps down. I think they must have done something fancy on the car because all of a sudden he's the fastest guy out there. He was driving past the leaders, getting laps back. I'm sure his car wouldn't have passed inspection after the race.
Yeah.
It had gone through inspection, but
yeah, for sure.
He was flying.
Tell me this: was Dale Jr. running the 8 or the 88? Do you remember the Budweiser car?
I would have guessed it was the 8.
Okay, that would have been.
So that would have been
because I think last year he ran that was 07, I believe.
Yeah,
it is coming back.
But
was Jimmy Johnson there?
I had my ticket still somewhere from that race. But.
Oh wow,
that's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah, that number 8 Budweiser car is coming back. He just announced that the other day.
Yes, he did.
Which means I'm going to be buying a lot of merch that I got no business buying.
Oh my!
But I got to have it. Yeah, you got the rights back from Teresa Earnhardt for that number 8 font, and so on and so forth. And then,
she just let it expire, didn't she?
Yes, she let it expire.
Crazy women controlling women.
Well, I mean, she's a special case. And
oh man,
he got that back. She let it expire, and then it seemed like pretty near immediately, him and Budweiser came to this deal of like, hey, let's run this car again. So,
well, yeah, it makes the money.
Absolutely.
Well, Teresa's another example of sometimes it's better to stick with the first or second wife. And she being what was the third, was Dale's third or something,
That sounds about right.
She capitalized on what she was on the opportunities she was given. And
or did she ever?
One of the old CEOs of the company I worked for said the best way to protect your 401k is to stay married to your first wife. You start splitting up your net worth 2 or 3 times in your life, and it sets you back pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
I tell Phil all the time, I said, you're worth more to me alive than dead.
I definitely hope so.
Well, then you don't have enough life insurance.
Yes. Don't give her any ideas. My gosh.
No, that makes people question that.
I wind up on Dateline.
So, yeah, exactly. Nope, you do not raise life insurance. That's the number one thing you do not do.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I think you can't, if you're going to kill somebody, you can't raise the life insurance and then do it within at least a year.
Oh, no,
5
it's got to
years.
be.
It has to be a
5
long time.
years.
Yes, absolutely a long time.
But usually if somebody's thinking about doing that, they ain't got 5 years to, I mean.
No, they don't have the patience for that.
No, yeah, exactly. They get greedy of all that money.
Yeah.
Now, I, on the other hand, have more on me because I'm sicker than you are. So I took advantage of that.
That is exactly right.
Stop it. Stop making it seem.
Physically or mentally?
That we are not answering.
Both. And life insurance is one of my pet peeves, man. I get so frustrated. Something happens to a guy and he's got 3 or 4 small kids and they're trying to raise money just to bury him.
Oh.
Like, man, term life insurance is so cheap. At least get $500,000 and set your family up, be taken care of. That, they're looking at getting evicted, not even having a place to live before they even get you buried. Man, that makes me very irritated with the guy that's dead and gone. There was a preacher that was like 52 years old or something, not too far from here, died last year, and he had no life insurance. I'm like, dude, you're not even like that young.
Mm-hmm.
And, an overweight 52-year-old man, he's got a chance of having a heart attack any day.
Yeah.
And no life insurance. Like, come on, man. You gotta take care of your responsibilities better than that.
Yeah.
But like, didn't that guy that just died not too long ago near us in that car wreck? Did they have any money or anything on them?
That I don't know. He was awful young too.
It's
I
just
don't
terrible.
know if he
Just
had anything or
a
not.
terrible. If anything, you take away from this podcast, make sure you have life insurance.
Yeah.
Because your
Yes.
poor family.
I know from experience
my
that
goodness.
it's expensive to
cheap.
bury somebody.
But also for everybody that cares, if something suspicious happens to me, just make sure my wife didn't have something to do with it, because I've got too much money on my life
Yeah.
that it would come out pretty well.
Yeah.
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 But
You
that's
should-
okay, as long as my kids are taken care of.
Right. Exactly.
Her and her new husband will be enjoying life and having happy thoughts about me.
They'll be living it up, bro.
Yeah.
Living it up. There's
They'll bring you a 6-pack once in a while.
there's another
Yeah.
topic I wanted to discuss a little bit.
Okay.
Recently, Donald Trump was on Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, that was an
Joe
interesting
Rogan
one.
Experience.
I had to.
I don't
Really
know.
interesting.
I know you listened to most of it, right?
Yep, I did.
Ben, did you have a chance to digest any of that?
Oh, all of it once. I was making my way back through the second time. I haven't made it completely back through.
I've hoped for that interview for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you know it was coming out? You said he was going to be on Joe Rogan. Did you actually know it was coming out, or were you just speculating?
Yeah, they announced it.
Oh, okay.
Well, Trump started. There was
I thought
something
you
where
could see the
Trump kind of.
future.
It sounded like he slipped up in an interview, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm doing it." Whatever. So everybody was like, "Okay."
Brett Weinstein.
Aw.
Brett Weinstein said back in the middle of September, he's like, last week of October, Trump will be on Joe Rogan.
Well, he was
That was his
darn right.
prediction.
Yeah, he was darn right.
Wow.
I've waited for that one for a while. I didn't think that he would be on for the longest time, because I've heard Rogan say stuff about like, that didn't really want him on. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times when Donald Trump is interviewed, even though I like the guy, I don't listen because I kind of know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
But
It
that
was huge.
changed with Trump was on Andrew Schultz's podcast a couple weeks ago. And I was like, okay, let me dial this up and listen to it. And that was one of the best interviews of Donald Trump that I've heard, because those guys, they're comedians, all that. And they kind of came at him and made him seem just like a normal person,
Mm.
because Trump wasn't constantly in the mode of, hey, I'm going to pitch this to you as far as, look at our border, look at this.
Yeah.
Like, he actually started telling stories about the family. They started cracking a few jokes to each other. I really enjoyed it. It's the first one I heard like it. And he was somewhat like that on Rogan as well. I think one of my favorite parts from the episode was where he told Joe Rogan, he said, I get a lot of crazy press and I don't know why. Maybe you know why. And Joe Rogan said,
Uh-huh.
I know exactly why. He said, you said a lot of crazy shit.
Exactly.
And, I thought, man, props to Joe for having
Yes.
the guts to say that. But he also, he spun it in a positive way. He's like, because you're saying things that most people wouldn't say because they're trying to act too perfect or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. What were your guys' thoughts on it?
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought Joe did a good job of directing the conversation. He didn't let Trump just take over. And that's why I was excited to hear the interview. And I will say that Eric Trump was on PBD on Friday, and that interview was on par with as important as DJT on Rogan, just because Eric is more well-spoken. He's obviously very smart. And I know us speaking positively, we're going to have certain people that say, oh, we're cult 45 and all this nonsense. But I'm just here to tell you, if you think that Donald Trump is as bad of a person as the media has made him out to be, or you don't like the things he's said, there is no man that is as bad as you think he is, who has raised 5 upstanding kids like Donald Trump has raised. Eric is brilliant. He is well-spoken. They've all been put through the ringer by the Department of Justice, by all the investigations, by everybody forgets about all the Russia hoax that wrapped up Don Jr. and Eric, but Donald Trump has 5 upstanding, well-spoken, intelligent, successful kids. That doesn't happen by accident. And when he was on Andrew Schultz, and Andrew Schultz told him, hey, yeah, Don Jr. said that, we had a party at Trump Tower and Donald Sr. was not supposed to be there, and he shows up, and there's supposed to be 5 kids on July 4th, and there's 200 kids. But the best part of this story was, and it's a parenting tip you can take from it, obviously, Don Jr., if he'd have got his punishment for it, he would have forgot about it and moved on. But here he is, like 30, 35 years later. DJT has never, ever said another word about it. Don Jr. said he cleaned for 36 hours to get the place straightened up. DJT has never brought it up again, and it's still on Don Jr.'s mind all these years later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is the ultimate just method of, hey, you didn't beat the kid, you didn't ground him, you didn't do all this stuff. He cleaned it up. He knew he was in trouble, and then you just don't mention it. It's still a dark cloud over that dude's head. He learned more from that than any other punishment you could have given him.
Right.
I think a lot of people, we do get that Colt 45 thing every now and then.
I've never heard of Colt 45. Like, what is that?
That's the term for people that support Donald Trump, basically. That's what the people that really just like him call people that support him because they think we're brainwashed into a cult.
Oh, okay.
I see no evidence
all my
of that.
coworkers all love Trump, but I've never heard.
Do we want to? I mean, if we're talking about some of the hardcore QAnon people, all right, there were some weirdos there. All right,
there's weirdos in everything,
give you that,
though.
But the normal Trump supporter, look, I'm a Trump supporter just because
it's not a mental disease.
I weighed the options, and I'm like, I like this guy.
It's not a mental disease.
I think a lot of it is, I've been around blue collar guys for most of my adult life, working on those job sites. Trust me, the stuff that Trump has said,
it ain't nothing.
It ain't nothing, dude. It is literally nothing.
The stuff Trump has said is nothing compared to what this old black guy told me the other day, who runs a 24-hour tire service and does mows yards and I will not repeat what he told me as to why he always has money in his pocket, but it would be pretty offensive to anybody. And I was like, well, dude, he's like, yeah, I run 24 hours. I was like, when do you sleep? Well, I'm taking a nap right here, standing on my feet while I'm talking to you.
Oh my goodness.
But the stuff that came out of that man's mouth, and I was like, dude, I could have a beer with you.
Yeah.
He just don't care.
Yeah.
He's out hustling and making money.
Now, I want to reiterate again, because I feel like this gets lost anytime politics is brought up. Once again, if you don't like Donald Trump, that doesn't mean I don't like you.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the thing. If people feel like, and I used to be in this camp, I try my best to stay out of this camp now, but somehow your politics, your political beliefs determine whether or not you're a good person.
Oh, yeah.
And that's bull.
Right.
It is.
And it determines whether or not you could have a relationship with somebody that has opposing political beliefs. And absolutely you can. I mean, it's people. Okay. So some of the people that dislike Donald Trump, I kind of see their point, kind of see where they're coming from. Obviously I disagree, but yeah, sometimes he does open mouth, insert foot at times. Okay.
Absolutely.
I get it. I just don't put as high of a level of worth on those moments as some others do. Not faulting them for doing it.
Well, and the important thing to remember here is it's not just Donald Trump. It's not just Kamala Harris. Okay. And the fact of the matter is most of us live in states that our vote's not that important.
Yeah.
Because you in West Virginia, it's going for Donald Trump.
Yep.
Yeah.
People in Indiana, it's going for Donald Trump. I'm in Texas, it's going for Donald Trump. Now, New Mexico people I know, that's a blue state that is looking like it could possibly go for Trump. We'll see. Who knows? No, shouldn't trust polls, all that.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is you're hiring a team. And when you look at the team and when you bring together a group that includes Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, and you're putting those people together and those minds, you listen to any of them.
Calling all Patriots. Election day is here. We need you to do your part and make our victory too big to rig. Make your plan to vote right now. Go online to www.swampthevote.org. Thousands of Democrat votes are being cast right now. Don't let them win. Republicans are counting on you to join the red wave. Confirm your polling place at www.swampthevote.org. That's swampthevote.org. Together we will secure our border, stop the Democrats' crime epidemic, and make America great again. Confirm your polling place right now at www.swampthevote.org. Paid for by the Republican National Committee. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. The Republican National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising. GOP.com.
You listen to what they did at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, and it was heavy hitter after heavy hitter after heavy hitter, including Eric Trump and Don Jr. You put the team, and then you look at who's been in the Biden administration for the last 3.5 years, when you've got Anthony Blinken, who has done nothing to prevent wars, who has done nothing to stop dying, like Trump said about the Russia-Ukraine thing. He's like, I just want the people to stop dying. Nobody wants to talk about how many people have been slaughtered senselessly when that could have been a deal that was made. But after the Afghanistan withdrawal and after our soldiers needlessly died there, and how many Afghanis needlessly died after we spent how many trillions of dollars for 20 years in Afghanistan? And you know who was in charge when we went in? The freaking Taliban. You know who's in charge of Afghanistan now? The freaking Taliban.
Yeah.
And we've got to stop these endless wars. And it's a money laundering system. And when you're bragging about Liz and Dick Cheney, I mean, could you have convinced anybody on the left 5 years ago that Liz and Dick Cheney were good people? And now they're like, well, we've got Liz and Dick on our side.
Yeah,
you can have them, because there has been a realignment. And I'll take Tulsi, RFK Jr., Elon Musk, and we're going to fix some stuff.
Yeah, this wasn't like a recent opinion change for me neither. Like it's been a few years back that I finally realized, Dick Cheney was a bad guy. Because
George Bush is scum.
Yeah,
George H.W. Bush is lower than scum. And if you got any questions about that, listen to Judge Joe Brown and Candace Owens from last week, because all those people, and if you don't like that, and you like Barack Obama, just know he is cousins with the Bushes. They're all relatives. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have the same grandfather or great grandfather. They're related. Just the things on the surface aren't what we're told to believe.
Dude, I just heard the other day.
I know.
What was I listening to?
I know. I knew you were going to say, I was going to ask you about
but that Barack Obama and George W. Bush are cousins to the guy that shot Reagan.
Yes.
Yes.
What was that guy's what was his name?
I don't know.
God.
That wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, was it?
No.
He shot somebody.
Somewhere there's
but also
just
the guy that shot MLK.
Right shot Reagan.
It was a weird name I never heard of.
John Hinckley Jr.
Yeah, but then was Lee Harvey Oswald the one that shot John Hinckley Jr.?
No, Lee Harvey Oswald's the one that shot, supposedly shot Kennedy.
That's right.
Then he got shot by Jack Ruby. It took me a minute.
Right. And then Jack Ruby was promptly taken out.
Yeah.
Yes, after a visit by the guy that was high up in the MK Ultra experiments, by the way.
So you know more.
But everybody talks about MK Ultra, but there was a lot of MK programs.
Oh, there was tons of them. I went down that rabbit hole the other day.
Our intelligence agencies are our enemies.
Ooh, yes.
I can't find this right
now. Okay, so talking about people that have been shot and stuff. Why was it Trump listened to somebody and didn't open up one of the files after he said he was
JFK
going
files?
to
It was Mike Pompeo.
Pompeo.
Okay, so since we're going full conspiracy theory,
Yes,
Let's go.
Vivek predicted like in December of last year that it would be somebody from Trump's side, alleged side. You know, if that would have been successful in Butler, Pennsylvania, Nikki Haley would have went to the convention and she would be the nominee right now. So you would have warmonger female of color versus warmonger female of color. Either way, the military-industrial complex wins. Mike Pompeo, who told Trump not to unseal the JFK documents, was going around in Iowa telling people he was going to be the VP. Obviously, he was never going to be Trump's VP. He was going to be Nikki Haley's VP.
Oh.
So
I was kind of surprised to hear Trump.
The rats are on both sides. And Vivek predicted that in December of 2023. You can look it up.
I was surprised to hear Trump speak so highly of Mike because I've listened to some of like Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson can't stand his guts.
Yeah.
He's evil.
That's what Tucker calls him. He's just an evil man.
Evil dude.
Man, we are far.
Hey,
did you know they're turning the frogs gay?
Well, go ahead. Since we're speaking clearly, the fact of the matter is there is good and evil in this world. There's a binary choice. You get to choose which team you're playing for.
Right.
And we've denied that fact too much. And it is a matter of fact that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of the air. And people are deceptive. Everything about politics, the intelligence agencies, is deception. And they tell you what they think you want to hear to get you to vote for them. Hey, you'll get an Obama phone. Hey, you're going to get cash for clunkers. You're going to get a handout. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. And then they get in and Barack Obama dropped more bombs than George W. Bush ever did.
Mm-hmm.
He drone striked everybody, and there was never any uproar.
Yeah. Or on the flip side of that, as far as with the other team, look how long Republicans strung us along about abortion. If you don't get to the polls and vote for us, they're going to kill more babies. And they said that for what, 40-some years? Something like it, since the 60s?
60.
And, just so happened that Donald Trump puts people in place to overturn it.
Yep.
But it just felt like for a long time, it was just an issue to, hey, this will help our voter turnout. So let's promise them this, but never give it to them because we need the same issue the next cycle.
And again and again. That just never.
Well, how many times did John Boehner and the Republicans vote to repeal Obamacare? And they never had a shot of actually repealing it because they didn't have the Senate, and Obama was still president.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They voted like 40 times to repeal Obamacare. It was just going through the motion.
Yep.
It's all just lip service.
I'll hear this at different times. You'll get some Republican get up there and grandstand about what bill he put through whenever they don't control. Well, like right now, they've got the House. They don't have the Senate and the White House.
Right.
So now these guys, they'll get up. Well, I proposed legislation for this.
Or we're going to impeach Mayorkas.
Yeah.
Because he's done such a bad job with the border. Yes, he has. But you've got no chance. You can vote to impeach him in the House. The Senate just ignores it.
Here's
a good one for you. Here's a good one. So everybody knows about Nancy Pelosi's stock trading, right?
Yes.
She beats every Wall Street guy day in, day out.
That's what I've heard.
There's somebody beating Nancy Pelosi right now?
Who is it?
Dan Crenshaw from Houston, Texas.
Oh, boy.
Republican.
Wow.
Nobody even talks about it. That dude is kicking Nancy Pelosi's butt right now on stock trading.
Where do you find this out at? Like, what's the source on this?
I can Google it and we can add it. I
want to try to be somewhat. I believe you.
One of my many podcasts about consume.
Dan Crenshaw is a bit of a war hawk, right? Let me see. I'm Googling furiously.
Oh, yeah. He's a rhino.
Ooh, Dan Crenshaw stock tracker.
Well, and he lost an eye in the war effort and whatnot, but he's a big fan. He's the next Liz Cheney.
How to pick stocks like you're in Congress.
Ridiculed bloggers laugh all the way to the bank.
calls grow for ban on stock trading. That's from the Washington Times. This absolutely should be
Nancy
okay.
Pelosi says, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, this is a freaking no-brainer. If you're in Congress, you shouldn't be allowed to play the stock market.
Yes. Hey, that one guy looks like he's a pirate.
Trading.
Is that him? Is that the pirate guy?
Yeah,
he's
that's Dan Crenshaw.
He's a war hero.
Is that why he had lost his eye?
Yes, but he's went to Congress and.
But just because you had an injury you survived doesn't mean that we can never check any of the actions for the rest of your life.
Right.
You're still accountable for the actions you take.
Right.
We don't just rubber stamp everything you do just because you lost a body part in the war that we should have never been in.
It's
That's
true.
true. Yeah.
We get all up in the air about that. Trying to see.
That's how John McCain got away with everything he did for the rest of his life, was because, well, he was a prisoner of war. So he's a great guy. No, that guy was evil. He played for the wrong team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. John McCain was ridiculous, but somehow you weren't allowed to say that.
Republicans loved him like crazy.
Oh, yeah. He somehow was the nominee against Barack Obama in 2008.
Uh-huh.
And he had, but that's another one. Sarah Palin is related to the Bushers or somebody somehow. She was in there to help make sure Barack Obama got elected.
It's almost like the holiness movement, like
oh my God.
Statler's and the Planks and everybody's everybody's related.
Here's what the between the media, the lobbyists, and the politicians do. They don't change their last name. So when Mitch McConnell marries Elaine Chao, she doesn't change her last name. She's still Elaine Chao. So unless you do your digging, you don't know she's Mitch McConnell's wife, and they're both working for China. When you start looking at who is married to who and who's all tied together, it's one big incestuous relationship between the politicians, the lobbyists, and the state-run media.
Absolutely. I wanted to bring up, kind of related to some of this. Trump had a rally at Madison Square Garden. Was this last night, I think, and Sunday, and he had Tony Hinchcliffe there from Kill Tony. Miss, you've sat and watched that movie before.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Which is, Kill Tony. It's I enjoy it occasionally. Sometimes the cringe factor is too high, and I got to turn it off.
It gets too cringy that I just kind of zone out.
But anyways, so Tony Hinchcliffe was there, and he said a joke. I'm going to play this joke. I want to get y'all's response. I have some listener responses too that I asked for earlier. So let's see if we can cue this up and play it.
Okay.
It really, really is. And, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Now, again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
Right. So I wake up and I'm seeing, because usually I'll look on Fox News and I'll look at CNN, see what the other side's saying. A lot of times I look at ABC, whatever. And you start seeing all these headlines. Now, granted, the ones I saw this morning did not mention Tony Hinchcliffe. They just said Trump rally.
Yes.
Where Puerto Rico was, defamed and disparaged and trying to make it seem as if, Trump hates Puerto Rico. Sorry, I just saw a headline with J.D. Vance going in for a Joe Rogan interview. Boy, ADHD just kicked hard, but I just looked at this. Okay.
Can we just talk?
Hopefully that'd be cool. But anyways, it was just people just losing their minds about this joke.
Yes.
And I mean, if anybody knows Tony, first of all,
it was a letdown. First of all, can I just talk about it? The joke, I was ready for a good one. Like, I really thought he was going to have a good joke. No, he actually disappointed me as always, and I cringed. I just went,
you don't like Tony?
Okay. Calling somebody trash? That's not fair.
We do that to each other all the time. Like that's what I'm not offended by it at all. I'm also not
If
from
you
Puerto
called
Rico.
me trash, I would be disappointed.
Well, Yeah, maybe so. I don't see the issue, and it's become this huge issue. Now, I do think that if you've watched Kill Tony,
Yes.
okay, let me put it this way. If I'm running for president, more than likely, I'm not going to ask Tony Hinchcliffe to come speak because that show is a frickin' train wreck.
It is.
Yes.
I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised at some of the guests that come on because I would be in this age of like getting canceled, just them kind of giggling to some of the jokes on there.
Oh, yeah.
I figured would have got him in trouble, but it hasn't, and thank goodness for that. But yeah, somebody.
But you know what he said? You know what he said afterwards?
What?
I ain't never gonna stop.
See, so if people listen to Kill Tony, you'll get the reference. William Montgomery.
That guy is nuts. That guy is nuts. He's actually pretty funny.
He's hilarious. But yeah, anyway. So this has become this big thing, and I think it's purely manufactured. It's a joke. Everybody knew it was a joke. It should have been taken as that.
It's a distraction. And honestly, my opinion has changed on it a little bit. I was like, okay, I wouldn't have had him there. It was kind of cringe, whatever. What I've seen tonight is there's a lot of Puerto Ricans that are happy about it because they have a major trash issue. And there's been billions of dollars of government money sent to Puerto Rico. It hasn't been solved. So basically, ever since that hurricane came through and annihilated them, they have had a major trash issue. And just like, all the outrage about Trump when he went down there, it's like, oh, he's throwing paper towels at people. Well, then they actually found the warehouses full of water and supplies that the mayor and whoever the political officials had put in a warehouse and not given to the people. So there's actually Puerto Ricans that are happy that Tony said that because it's brought awareness to what the actual Puerto Rican people are dealing with and their corrupt government. But I
never thought about
he said some cringe stuff. But it's a convenient distraction because that rally, they were talking about it being a Nazi rally before it ever started. But if you go back and you listen to what Dr. Phil, his speech was really, really good. And he talked about, hey, the headlines tomorrow they're going to tear me up. He said, if I went and supported Kamala, I would be loved. He said, because I'm at a Trump rally speaking, I'm going to be destroyed. But I don't care. I don't need a job. It's fine. And then the guy, I don't know his name. The guy that introduced Elon, he was the CEO of a company that was on like the 21st to the 25th tower of one of the buildings at the World Trade Center. He lost, I think, 658 employees on September 11th. That guy's speech was dynamic. And so they have this convenient distraction that all Puerto Ricans were disparaged at a at this Nazi rally. 200,000 people show up in New York City, and Melania Trump, she looked extremely happy to be back in New York City. It's obvious that she loves New York a lot more than she loves Florida. And she gave a great speech, and somebody yelled out, we love you or something. And she's like, I love you too. And she just looked so happy to be there. It was a great moment. So they have this convenient distraction to talk about a crude comedian, hey, Tony's done a lot to bring back offensive language.
Yes,
the fact that the culture is changing. People are tired of political correctness. People want real. People want to make fun of each other. And people make fun of each other's differences. But it's kind of interesting that the Puerto Rican people are like, yeah, he brought attention to a big problem. It's like, oh, so maybe it wasn't just a joke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe in a roundabout way, he was kind of trying to be like, all right, now what's the problem here? Let's fix this.
Yeah.
That
because
is a different
the other
approach.
part, when you talk about an island of trash in the ocean, China, we do all this recycling and even people, I think Canada and probably our West Coast sells their plastic and their trash to China. And then China just takes it, dumps it in the ocean. And now there's this massive island of plastic waste floating in the Pacific Ocean, and it ends up washing back up on our shores because China is like, yeah, we don't care about being green. We're opening up like 2 coal-fired power plants a week.
Yes.
Why? Yeah, you want to pay us to take your trash and get your carbon credits? Yeah, we'll take advantage of your stupidity, and then they just dump it in the ocean.
Yep, it's sad.
Yeah, I like the way you put it, Ben. It's a distraction. I also think it's a manufactured distraction. No, but this is a joke that, the guys I work with, we say worse stuff to one another than this on a daily basis.
I don't doubt it.
It's not a big deal. I don't think anybody actually thinks it's a big deal. It's just, it's a distraction. All right.
What do the comments say about the
I put out a
joke?
And we'll probably start doing this. If we're going to be talking about a topic, a news headline, something like that, we'll put it out on our Facebook page, or in this case, we put it inside the Facebook group, Fraternal Order of Hillbilly Broadcasts. Byron says he's an edgy comedian. Comedians like him says stuff like that. However, I don't think it was a big deal. Travis says, reprehensible but unsurprising, and speaks to the more sinister, implicit, and often explicit undercurrents of othering and scapegoating that pervade the new Republican Party. What was said is fully in line with statements in kind repeatedly made by the nominee and those he counts as his most trusted advisors. So Travis was not a fan. Tim said, so he made a joke about Puerto Rico while the Democrat in charge of hurricane relief left it in a trash dump and didn't get the supplies to the people as they should.
Interesting.
Real quick, and I don't want to go at Travis hard or anything, but I think that this could be, if I'm trying to problem solve here, I think this could be an instance of people repeatedly making more out of what Donald Trump has said or what is said by people like Tony Hinchcliffe, making more out of it than was actually meant. And, that maybe...
There's no known cure for TDS.
For
Travis,
what?
I'm trying to be nice to you, and I've been on the other end for TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh my!
I just think that for some reason, some people just kind of they can't see maybe the nuance in something that's said, or the humor, or maybe they think the humor is just completely inappropriate.
Let's just get back to it wasn't said by Trump or anybody that's going to be a part of his administration.
That is correct.
It was a crude comedian. If you watch the roast of Tom Brady and the stuff that was said there, now that was rough.
Oh.
And Tom thought he's obviously needing attention now that he's no longer the top quarterback in the NFL, and his wife moved on. Actually, I think she's pregnant. I heard on TBD today.
That's what I've been seeing.
With his kid?
She's pregnant with Joaquin or whatever his name is. Tom's got some. He's had a lot of plastic done. That's a very insecure man, and that's sad because that is the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL. And his face shape, he's starting to look like I don't even know what to compare it to, but like I'm blanking here, but the shape of his face, like he's starting to look like a vampire without the teeth and like a dark actor or something, it's weird. If you could go back and look at what his face shape used to be like, he's had a lot of work done. That's the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL. But he has no self-confidence or security in who he is.
He reminds me of? He looks a lot like Christopher Reeves when his face started looking all plasticky.
Yes.
Do you see how that kind of looks like he's got something going on?
He's kind of got a V shape to his face.
Dang, look at that.
He's got a lot of work done. Go back at what he looked like when he played for Michigan or, back in when he first started for the Patriots.
It still looks like the same guy.
Just even 14 versus... Look at this picture right here at the bottom. Like that right there. Look at the difference. Oh my goodness, this poor man. What happened?
Oh,
Type in Christopher Reeves. Type in Christopher Reeves and you'll see what I mean. This is awful.
The greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL.
And he wasn't bad looking.
He has not enough confidence I mean, does he need to do that to get women? He's not doing that to get women.
Surely not.
He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. He's got, he can go anywhere. He can date almost anyone he wants other than Giselle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's 44 years old now,
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy cow, this is my Lord.
My goodness.
Wow. Well, I guess the lack of self-confidence can get us all, huh?
Proof that money is not the answer. Because if he had all the money, that just proves right there he's an unhappy man.
This is looking freaking sad. One of the worst guys right now, I think, is Simon Cowell from... Oh, my gosh. Oh, my Lord. It's like, dude, what did you do? Kenny Rogers, of course, Kenny Rogers looked terrible. But yeah, this is looking pretty bad.
Fall into big savings, all in the Kroger app. Get bone-in pork back ribs for $2.97 a pound with your card and a digital coupon. Then get 9.8-ounce packages of jumbo blueberries for $3.99 each with your card. Shop these deals at your local Kroger, less than 5 miles away. Or tap the screen now to download the Kroger app to save big today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Prices and product availability subject to change. Restrictions apply. See site for details.